Hello everyone. Today we are going to write a body paragraph for an expository essay on Into the Wild. Last class we wrote our introductory paragraph, so today my body paragraph example will follow the introductory paragraph that I wrote last class during the last lecture. So we're going to follow the same prompt that we did last time. This prompt is to explain McCandless's attitude regarding civilization versus nature. Also discuss his feelings about the government and law, and family and friends. Basically, explain McCandless's worldview and what kind of person he was. So again, last class we wrote an introductory paragraph featuring a hook, bridge, summary, and then our central claim for this prompt. Today we are going to be focusing on writing a body paragraph in the TBDABDAT formula. So keep in mind that this essay is a 4-paragraph essay featuring an introductory paragraph, 2 body TBDABDAT paragraphs, and then a conclusion paragraph. Just a quick reminder, here is my introductory paragraph from last class so that we can follow from this paragraph when we write our body paragraphs. Leo Tolstoy once said, "I wanted movement and not a calm course of existence. I wanted excitement and danger and the chance to sacrifice myself for my love. I felt in myself a superabundance of energy which found no outlet in our quiet life." For Chris McCandless, the focal point of Jon Krakauer's Into the Wild, this quote rings especially true. In Into the Wild, Chris McCandless abandoned modern society, hoping to find raw, transcendent experience in the Alaskan wilderness. He divorced himself from his upper-class family, gave away his life savings, and lived out of an abandoned bus in the Alaskan taiga before eventually mysteriously succumbing to starvation. McCandless, contrary to the claims of myriad cynical critics, was not fatalistic or suicidal. He was a 21st century pilgrim in devout pursuit of spiritual connection with the natural world, and it was this devotion, not his untimely death, that inspired millions. So, I've got my introductory paragraph. Now I need to write a body paragraph that supports the idea in that central claim, in that intro paragraph. So here's the basic formula for your body paragraphs. It's TBDABDAT, which stands for topic sentence, background sentence, where you introduce a quote, detail sentence, your actual direct quote, analysis sentence, where you analyze that quote, another background sentence where you introduce a new quote, another quote, which is your detail. You now analyze that second quote, and you tie it all back to your topic sentence. So let's take a look at topic sentences. Your topic sentence is the main idea of your body paragraph. It's going to explain what you will prove in that body paragraph. So your topic sentence should not be a specific detail or quote from the text that you're analyzing, but rather it should take a stance on an issue from that text that can be debated. So here's a topic sentence that supports my central claim from that intro paragraph. Chris McCandless detested the modern world, found the idea of a career repugnant, and felt that it was impossible to live authentically in urbanity. Now I need to introduce a quote that supports the idea in my topic sentence. So remember, your background sentence is how you introduce a quote. So your background sentence gives the background of the supporting detail or quote. Who says the quote or does the action? When does he or she say that quote or do the action? And where does this action take place? So remember, your background sentence is always going to come before the supporting detail in the paragraph. So here's my background sentence for this topic sentence. Indeed, at the start of his journey, McCandless severed himself from his bourgeoisie past by creating an all-new identity, even adopting a new name, one more befitting of his bohemian lifestyle. So now that I've created a background sentence, I need to introduce a direct quote. So the direct quote is your detail sentence. This is the evidence that comes directly from the text that you are analyzing. As a reader, I should be able to turn to a page and say, okay, I see what they're talking about. The evidence happens right here. So again, your detail can be a direct quote that a character says, or a specific detail of an event that occurs. And it is possible to paraphrase details and put them in your own language, but generally speaking, direct quotes are preferable. So here is my direct quote from Into the Wild that supports the idea in my topic sentence and my background sentence. No longer would he answer to Chris McCandless. He was now Alexander Supertramp, master of his own identity. So that's my direct quote. Now I need to analyze that direct quote. So I need to explain the significance of this quote. What does the quote actually mean? What does that quote or event actually show? So in my analysis, I am going to explain that detail in the previous sentence. McCandless was not just concerned with severing himself from society, however. He also wanted to divorce himself from his parents entirely, and changing his name allowed for him to remain anonymous during his nearly 3-year-long odyssey. Now that I've analyzed that first quote, I need to introduce a second quote that supports the idea in my topic sentence. So again, I need to give the background of who says the quote, where it occurs in the text. So here's my second background sentence. Many of Chris's views were inherently contradictory. He simultaneously loved company, yet found it tiring after extended periods. So now I need to find a quote that supports what I'm saying in my background sentence. And remember, your detail is preferable in terms of direct quotes as opposed to paraphrasing, but sometimes you might have to paraphrase. So here's my direct quote. According to Krakauer, Chris could be generous and caring to a fault, but he had a darker side as well, characterized by monomania, impatience, and unwavering self-absorption. Now that I've found the quote that supports my background sentence, I need to analyze that quote. So I need to explain the significance of my detail sentence and talk about what it actually means and what it shows. So here's my analysis of that detail. McCandless's monomania revolved around one final destination, the great Alaskan wilderness, and he was so singularly absorbed by that pursuit that he concerned himself with little else. Now that I've analyzed this second quote in support of my topic sentence and my background sentence, all I need to do is tie back both pieces of analysis to that topic sentence. So your tie-back sentence connects the detail and the analysis back to the topic sentence. How does the detail or details prove your main point? So my tie-back sentence is, by March 1992, McCandless had dropped off the face of the earth entirely consumed by his wanderlust. So let's look at how this body paragraph flows together all at once. But before we actually read through this body paragraph, let's go back to the prompt. The prompt asks for me to explain McCandless's attitude regarding civilization versus nature, also discuss his feelings about government and law and family and friends, explain McCandless's worldview and what kind of person he was. So let's see how my body paragraph does in targeting that prompt. Chris McCandless detested the modern world, found the idea of a career repugnant, and felt that it was impossible to live authentically in urbanity. Indeed, at the start of his journey, McCandless severed himself from his bourgeoisie past by creating an all-new identity, even adopting a new name, one more befitting of his bohemian lifestyle. No longer would he answer to Chris McCandless. He was now Alexander Supertramp, master of his own identity. McCandless was not just concerned with severing himself from society, however. He also wanted to divorce himself from his parents entirely, and changing his name allowed for him to remain anonymous during his nearly 3-year-long odyssey. Many of Chris's views were inherently contradictory. He simultaneously loved company, yet found it tiring after extended periods. According to Krakauer, Chris could be generous and caring to a fault, but he had a darker side as well, characterized by monomania, impatience, and unwavering self-absorption. McCandless's monomania revolved around one final destination, the great Alaskan wilderness, and he was so singularly absorbed by that pursuit that he concerned himself with little else. By March of 1992, McCandless had dropped off the face of the earth, entirely consumed by his wanderlust. So you'll see that my body paragraph does a great job of targeting the prompt. And the basis of my body paragraph is those two pieces of evidence that I selected. I'm sort of just weaving my own sentences around those two pieces of evidence that come directly from Krakauer. And that's the hallmark of a good TBDABDAT paragraph. The last step of your expository essay after you've written your second TBDABDAT paragraph is a concluding paragraph. I love short conclusions. 3 sentences is fine. Your first sentence should be a restate of your central claim using all new language. Your second sentence should summarize the main takeaways from your body paragraphs. And then the final sentence of your conclusion should sort of tackle this idea of How does this topic that you're talking about impact our present society? Why are we still reading this text? Why is Into the Wild still being talked about 20 years after being published, or more than 20 years after it's been published? So I know this was a very dense lecture. Hopefully the example paragraph today will help you write your Into the Wild essays. Remember, you have to write 2 body paragraphs featuring the TBDABDAT formula. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. Otherwise, have a lovely day.